Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. A menacing Ohio Sasquatch growls showing off canines. We received a Bigfoot sighting report from Ohio, and the Bigfoot was menacing towards the witness, possibly being territorial over food in my opinion. Here is the report. Jeffrey Lilly writes RMSO. I decided this week to tell my story at the age of 48. I can't take it to my grave, so with all the new evidence and research out there, I decided to let it go so others could put it out there. I'm giving you my story and the permission to tell it to others. Keep up your good work. On a fishing trip with my dad, Jeff Sr., and uncles Mike and Rocky back in the 90s to a buddy of ours, Tom. We were up on his land, absolutely perfect layout up there on the border of Indiana and Ohio. It was a beautiful late September day, still warm but chilly, especially at night. We decided to have one last go at it and night fish up on Tom's Mountain for bass and crappie. We'd never fished all night, but that was the plan. We arrived at the top after a good 45-minute hike, straight up the mountain. The lake that we fished on was kind of in a bowl, and at a ridge over on the left sits high and keeps the wind off the lake. Runs all the way down from high to low, ending at the lake. The fish were biting great, and the cows were over on the left as always, drinking and laying in the mud to keep cool. It was warm that day, and we had a good feeling about the night, and it was until about midnight the fish shut down and the cows got up and flat out got out of there and headed up the mountain to the second lake. About 45 minutes later, we heard something moving towards us, off the ridge from the back side of us, but thought nothing of it. Moving slowly, but evasively, definitely defensive, and methodically, but yet coming towards us. We kept on fishing, not thinking anything else of it. It was nature, and that's what we took of it. But nothing was biting, and about an hour later, I thought, well, I'm moving to the left side. I knew of a hole over there about 5 feet deep and knew a few big ones laid on that spot. So I grabbed another pole and the minnow bucket and the lantern and made my move over that way slowly. As I made my turn around the bend, I shined my light over that way and put it right on something so beautiful crouching down, with its right arm in the lake cupping the water out with its hand. It knew it had been spotted at this point and slowly turned its head over its shoulder to view me, and as it did, it began to growl, a low, curdling growl with an opening of its mouth. I seen 4 canines and a bunch of regular teeth, as well as a set of wicked glowing eyes, yellow glowing eyes, as well. It was a very dark color. Only light was the one on the lantern, and I had it in my hand. I was frozen and couldn't move or talk, let alone think at this point. I was traumatized, in shock, and really taking the moment all in. I slowly began to hear my family whispering, "Junior, what is that you see? Is that a deer?" I gained my composure and all at once yelled, "Hit the mountain now!" We all bolted towards the edge, flying like the wind. What did I just see? I was running hard, but yet didn't feel fast enough. Down the slope, branches, boulders everywhere. I passed my dad and uncles in no time. I get out in front and tried to keep the light up so we could all see where we were to go. But we ended up bunched in, and we all tripped and were tumbling and rolled off the ground. Getting back up, only to do it a few seconds later again, scared to death, was an understatement. It felt like forever getting to the bottom. We finally got to the car, each one of us hands on knees, sucking for air, at this point asking one another, "What in the hell did we just see, Junior?" I slowly caught my breath and told them, "You know what we seen, there is no doubt I know what I seen, and you all were only 20 feet away from me." We all agreed to keep a pact, to keep it secret. Didn't want people up on Tom's land hunting for it, as well as have Tom being mad at us for letting it out. My uncle telling him later what we had seen, he had an idea all along. "Why you think no one night fishes here?" told my Uncle Mike. We were in the right place at the right time that night, downwind, and or that was just the way it worked up there it seemed. The cows rolled out at midnight, and then this, then deer at dawn. Did this thing come down for water? Probably it had been a warm day, or did it come for both water and then lie in wait for deer at dawn for a chance to ambush food? We'll never know. We never went back to night fish after that. RMSO responds, "Did the creature ever stand up or leave the location while this was happening?" Jeffrey continues, "It happened within 2 minutes, and no, it didn't stand up. I think it just was as shocked as we were, honestly. It came off that ridge and hadn't had a clue that we were there. The lake's edge was 3 feet tops from the woods. All my info on height and weight was estimated, but I can say I'm 5'8", and it was 4 feet at least in crouching position. All muscles, beautifully cinnamon-colored fur. I remember the feeling of being hopeless going down that mountain, like it could grab any one of us if it wanted to at any time. But that climb ends at about 80-degree angle, then flattens out to the lake. Then on the north side, another climb starts up at a 60-degree angle to another lake, then flattens out. So once we hit the edge, you couldn't see the lake anymore. Like I said, right place, right time. Setup was perfect. Wind from the west to the east. We were downwind the whole time. I don't think it had a clue we were even there. All we were using was minnows for bass and crappie fishing. Thank you for your report, Jeffrey. Everyone I fish with tries to stay really quiet so as not to spook the fish. So maybe you did startle the Sasquatch, trying to get a drink or catch a fish too, provoking this elusive creature to give you a menacing style warning in an attempt to protect itself. I hope you guys enjoyed this Bigfoot sighting report from one of the #1 Bigfoot sighting hotspots outside of the Pacific Northwest. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.